3, 2, 1.
Woo! 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 Oh, show!
Oh,
Oh, my God, you can table and the computer just shook. It is, no one was mad that you cut the whole... You can go anywhere. What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. God. They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5... You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
that. Dallas.
Stupid.
What did I... You know, when that's like part of my Christmas...
Oh, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast.
Hey-o!
Got Chris and Vin with me. Joe is MIA this week. It's raining. He doesn't drive when they're predicting rain.
Drive when they're predicting rain.
We had a...
Answer the phone when it's dark out.
I don't answer the phone with stuck out.
We had a little sabbatical.
The phone is an
A
auditory
little sabbatical. We've been gone, what, 2 weeks now?
Well, it's 3 weeks, really. This is 3 weeks from the last episode, but there really hasn't been shit going on. I mean...
It's been a lull. We're in the start of the year. They
Yeah.
delayed the most anticipated thing of the year. So we're just kind of sitting here waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, I've been working a lot of cannabis gigs as real-life Peter Griffin.
Big yow. Yow.
Yow.
Shout out. Yow.
And
Yeah.
shout out to Dank, who's been hiring me for them. I just did another video game tournament at Silk Road Dispensary in Queens. Great name.
Yeah, I mean, that's some negative connotations. Wasn't the Silk Road like a...
That was the
Like
dark
a
web
criminal dark
original
web
Silk Road was
mastermind.
the actual Silk Road, which was the trade route.
created by like the
Europe.
Mongolians or something in China or something, right?
It was like, I think, the
Yeah,
trade,
it
the
was
spice
the
trade,
the silk trade. Yeah,
spice and silk from whatever, Asia to Europe.
Yeah.
I think that's the original Silk Road. Then, yes, the dark web version where you could buy any version of anything you wanted, any substance, people. Apparently, you could just traffic people.
Body
This.
parts.
Yeah, it required dark
I get
web.
your toe.
I get with nail polish.
Nail polish.
Yeah, Silk Road. But I guess they're taking it back. Sounds like they're taking it back.
Yeah.
Taking it back.
Claim it.
But that's cool.
But yeah, it was a
Even
great time.
Peter's
They had like a
repping-
back room with the TVs and the leather couches and taking dabs and playing Tekken. It was fucking sick.
You know what's funny? I actually saw a video of the creators of South Park really like hardcore bashing Family Guy.
They hate Family Guy.
That's an
I
old
didn't
episode.
know that was like
They
a
absolutely hate
You're talking about
Family
like
Guy.
on
Simpsons
on the
creators,
show?
I've seen the
everyone-
creators like interviewed, and they're like, we absolutely both
despise
detest
it.
Family Guy
yeah
because they think that they use like cheap humor and like the cutaways. Like they hate the cutaways and the cultural references. It's like
Well,
I
and
guess-
Family Guy got better after that. I think they actually took that critique because it used to be like there was a story throughout the episode, but it became like just a random assortment of crazy things happening that were
acid
like
trip.
funny,
it
random
was almost
references.
like they were writing an episode around the cutscenes instead of putting cutscenes in the episode.
Yeah.
It's probably when McFarlane was away anyway.
It's like, all right, we're gonna do a dartboard, and it's like cultural reference,
Yeah,
character.
yeah. That's what the
You know?
Mad Lib guy. You ever see it? The guy, he's like, A24, we're gonna cut a movie. Ready?
Yes,
Horror
I
movie,
love that
go.
shit.
There's they're in the woods. Yeah, and where?
Yeah,
Okay.
they just-
In Europe. Okay. Woods, Europe. Yeah, that shit's so funny. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Family Guy always felt like a little trippy for that randomness of it. But I always thought that was part of the formula.
They had a
so-
little more charm when he was involved. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
with any work of art, once the artist is no longer
He's
a
still
part
involved
of
in it, isn't he?
he voices Peter. That's about it.
Yeah, he's
And,
really
you know,
half in, half out.
Stewie and Quagmire. He still
Yeah.
voices his characters, but he has nothing to do with the creative process anymore. Now he's off
Really?
crooning with
He's on
what's her name, Liz
Broadway,
Gillis, and he's
doing vinyl records.
yeah, that's what I mean. He's doing like his Christmas albums and shit. He's a crooner. He's a
Well, he
crooner
was
now.
like
And he
trained
does
by
the
Frank
Orville
Sinatra.
too. He's more
Jr.
involved with the Orville. He actually writes the Orville. He's a big Trekkie, so he made his own Trek show.
It's the one thing with like artists, creatives, they get bored. Like, and that's understandable. Like, while we want, Bungie to continue making Halo, they get fucking bored.
Like if I lose 200
Lose
pounds,
interest.
I ain't doing Peter Griffin no more. Fuck that.
Right. You're bored of it. You get bored of it. It's just something you want, something fresh, something new. So I could see why you bow out. But yeah, when I saw the video, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was like that deep. It was like, yeah, every cartoonist from Simpsons and South Park, they just don't respect Family Guy. I'm like, wow, Jesus. I feel like Family Guy's a staple in my, whatever, young teenage years and on.
Well, it was our Simpsons because it came out in our time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not like where it was like a show that existed before us, and then we kind of just caught up to it. It was our show. It was culturally referencing all the shit from our time.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't
The Simpsons
matter.
kind of really got stale by the time Family Guy came out.
It doesn't matter even if people don't like the show. They'll still love you, so deal with
But
that.
where were those good old-fashioned values?
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade. Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days. And you knew where you were then.
Girls were girls and men were men.
Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again.
Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight.
G.R.O. LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
Well, this is going to be one of those shows where we are all over the place
We're
talking
just
about random.
ADHDing our way through the episode.
Yeah, again, there's really just nothing. I feel like there's nothing substantial or of consequence happening right now. We're just
I've been
like,
playing a shit ton of Indiana Jones on the PS5. Interestingly enough, when I
Strumbo.
connected my Microsoft account,
yeah,
my achievements that I had earned through my Microsoft playthrough,
You got
on
his
the
trophies?
Xbox, the trophies came over.
Wow.
that's fine.
But the
That's
gameplay
interesting.
did not. So I had to start the game over again. But the trophies came over that I had previously gotten. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Interesting. That translates.
It's funny that works like well because I see so many people complain like especially PC guys like I gotta create a Microsoft or PlayStation account to play the game, and you're like, I mean, yeah, if you want some of the perks of
You don't have one
cross
already,
saves and-
asshole?
yeah, everyone always complains about that. Why do I gotta create?
Everybody likes to complain.
what?
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one they'll stink.
Everyone does. Everyone does.
But yeah, I mean, other than the Peter Griffin thing and the video gaming, it's really not a whole lot going on. We poor Vincenzo hurt his back, so
I fucked myself up pretty
he's
good.
been out of commission for a couple of weeks now, but he's on the mend.
I'm back.
Glad to have him back in the studio.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody actually even knows that we're doing this episode today because
No.
we've been gone for a bit. So
No, they're like, you know what? You abandoned us for 3 weeks,
Yep.
and now we're gonna abandon you.
that's
Selling
YouTube
from
for
the
you, too.
dungeon. They all
YouTube's
hate
like-
us now. We left them.
if you don't feed out whatever the algorithm, they fucking hate your guts and they just kill your whole channel. They don't put you on the live notification. They don't do anything. They don't
Well,
feed you.
We've pretty much come to the conclusion that, because we got close to getting monetized and then YouTube just puts its foot on our throat. So I think we've all accepted that this is more just a passion
you.
project.
This is a- yeah,
this
this is a
is
passion
I
project.
like the punishment. I enjoy being strung up on a cross on a weekly basis and crucified by all my friends.
Chris's opinions are, oh, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use this. Listening to talkers makes me thirsty.
I think I'll have 2 chickens.
You going to pay for those?
If any more words come pouring out of your cunt's mouth,
You?
I'm gonna have to eat every fucking chicken in this room.
You're not gonna pay for them. You're gonna eat all. You're gonna drink your fill, and then you're gonna tickle the innkeep after.
You're gonna lose your life over some chickens?
Someone is. Someone is.
Someone is.
Fuck the king's
He
god.
was a
Fuck
really
the
nice
king.
guy. Got to meet him in Florida.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him as Balin Scroll. I think
Balin Skull, yeah.
it's a tough role to fill.
Yeah, Ray Stevenson killed it.
He did.
He did kill it, but
Great
it's
job.
like it was only one season, so you didn't get like this idea of him formulated in your head where like they could switch him to I almost called him Sandor to Rory McCann and it'll be palatable enough. I'm really curious to see how he takes it over, and if they try to make him look exactly the same, or if they Sometimes when they recast, they'll try to make them look exactly the same, and then other times, like, they just accept, like, nope, we're not even going to pretend to do that. Obviously, you know, it's a different actor. So we'll see how that plays out.
It's funny because you kind of tiptoed into a Star Wars conversation there. And for all the big Star Wars fans here, nobody watched Andor Season 2 or 1. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I started watching. I got the first 3 episodes down.
My dad watched it. He liked it. Well, my dad likes everything.
It's a heavy duty. It's, you know, it's more of the, I want to say Game of Thrones style. It's more, you know, it's political. It's more, it's not lightsabers and blasters all the time, but there's good sequences of action, but it's very politically driven. Like, what is the resistance doing or the rebellion doing as it's forming, you know, in the Senate, and then who are the leaders of the rebellion? That's who we're actually being introduced to beyond just knowing, let's say, Obi-Wan's out there and, you know, Luke. But
And they got a Mon Mothma in that too now, right?
yes, yeah, they do. So you got.
She was a bigger character in the Thrawn books too.
Oh, right. Okay.
Senator,
Okay. So that's
Senator Bill Iblis.
Bill Iblis, yeah.
Mon Mothma or whatever.
Well, Mon Mothma was basically the leader of the rebellion.
right. And then Skarsgård's in there.
She took over because I think originally Bail Organa was the head of the rebellion, and then when Alderaan gets destroyed, then she kind of like
Was she the
takes
leader
over.
throughout all the way to the end, like with Luke and them? Like, she was a very background character.
Well, you
I feel
never
like,
heard
in-
about her until Return of the Jedi when they were doing the final assault on the Death Star.
Like, she's just like in the chair. Like,
But
you
you
know,
also don't know about Admiral Akbar, who's like one of the. Let's face it, they really didn't have all the people in the Yavin base when they went to go attack the Death Star. They didn't have the full rebellion there. Like they're saying, looking for their hidden rebel base. They had to have had multiple bases, either that or the fleet was not all together.
well, they're like guerrilla fighters. You know, they do better
'Cause
when
they
they're.
clearly had a rebel fleet. You know what I mean? That's what they assaulted the second Death Star with. You know.
Yeah.
And that's also all the people that were trying to escape Hoth. So it seems that the headquarters, or at least the place of power of the rebellion, was not with the headquarters. Because Mon Mothma wasn't on any of those.
From here, you will witness. Where's that quote?
From here you will witness the destructive firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Did they say something like, "You will witness the end of the rebellion"? Or no,
of
the
your
something of your
pitiful
friends,
friends.
and the end of your
You're quite
pitiful
safe from your
rebellion.
pitiful little band.
Oh, you pitiful little band.
Your arrogance is your.
Yes.
He's like, your arrogance is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite retort from him. Your faith in your friends is yours.
Hell's in the house.
Hell's is here.
Hell's is crushing it. Hell's is just dominating Pokemon trading card game like no one else
Yeah.
I've seen. Master Ball rank. I'm like, bro, how the fuck? How many matches?
He's got the time
Chris has
to
got
do
the
it.
golden card, but he also paid a heavy price for it. So.
Peter.
Yes. Yes,
Heavy
but
toll.
I mean, I did pretty good in Pokemon rank too. But you know, fucking, I'm in an office 40 hours a week. So
Yeah.
you look at how many times Hell's has dueled. He's got like 2,000 battles or something like that. Like I have like 500, 600 or something. I don't know. It's like you can never catch up to that.
Yeah, no, I played one.
I played one, and I
Done
was.
one.
I really
match.
enjoy the Pokemon TCG Pocket.
Yeah, I'm not.
Been having a lot of.
Actually, no, I played more than one last season because you guys bullied me, so I did a little bit more. But
You guys bullied me. You'd be in the chat like Rob doesn't give a shit.
Well, because
Rob doesn't give a fuck.
in the beginning, it was like the space wars between me and Rob because it was like
Oh,
the
yeah,
space
we were
race
both
because we
throwing
were
money
both
at the
throwing money
fucking
at the
game.
game, and then he folded like Russia
I had to.
and pulled out of the nuclear arms
You guys
race.
are sick in the head. It's crazy. Actually, I'm shocked at the cadence of the releases that they're doing them monthly.
Monthly is
'Cause
so
I'm
much;
like,
it's too much.
Chris, how many cards do you have now?
I've like,
I'm approaching 30,000.
Jesus fucking fuck. I have like 6,500. You have 30.
Yeah, 30,000.
Sick.
Collect the physical
Sick.
cards, and I collect the digital cards, and
That's
it's
like
actually
twice
better
as
because I
many
could
as
use
have,
them.
I think.
Our man Gruffy out there, he's got great physical collection. His physical collection.
Well, his physical collection is a whole.
choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got the graded shits in the fucking briefcase and the whole.
Oh yeah, the whole setup is choice.
Who's got something
been
similar as my
trying-
boy Brian.
Oh yeah.
He just FaceTimed me the other night. He got the new Team Rocket pack, and he fucking pulled both Mewtwo's with the Giovanni in the background. The fucking set, and they look really, really
Sure,
cool.
that fetches a nice price. Once TCG Pocket came out, I stopped buying physical cards, and I've went all into that, which might be stupid because maybe they don't have any value because you still can't fucking trade them for some reason.
Buzzswole flying
Yeah, you
through
can't
spaces.
trade
That is a cool.
the ones you'd want to trade. That's the fun.
You can't trade the good cards, and that's like the whole. It's TCG Pocket, trading card game pocket, and you can't trade the best cards. And I have copies of good cards, and I'm missing other ones from my collection. I can't just trade them. I don't need 6 Buzzwoles. If I could trade one to get, a Guzzlord or something, that would be really cool. So I don't
That
know
sounds so
what the
good.
holdup is on that. They're really dragging
the
their
immediate response to Guzzlord in the PvP was just like
It's just the
you can imagine. You just
the gayest name. You could-
guzzling, guzzle, fucking guzzle.
It's an OP. He's OP in the card game.
Then Hidalgo, you could stack that poison ability.
Oh.
Hidalgo. I don't actually know the names. I just
Oh, they
make.
finally
I
put
see the
Joe
name.
in.
I have like dyslexia.
Nihilego.
I'm telling you, when I see Pokemon names, whatever version of dyslexia I might have kicks in such a heavy amount that I just start making shit up.
Oh, it's fucked up.
I look-
They
I
just-
read the
it's
names,
Like they
I'm
throw
like,
these
oh,
names in like
Hidalgo, right.
randomizers. It's like, where the fuck do they even come up with this?
The
shit?
earlier ones, some of them made sense. Blastoise or whatever. You're like, oh yeah, I see that. Leafeon. Then these new ones,
They're running out of.
Xerxes, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck this thing's name
Oh,
is.
the worst one is the fucking one that looks like scaffolding, and it's like Archeron or something. I fucking hate.
So they got
saying
like an
that
ice
name.
cream cone. Oh, Gruffy's in the house.
Gruffy.
Oh no, it's
You heard
Griffith. I'm sorry, it's his Griffith. I thought it was
Oh, I was
Gruffy.
gonna
Well,
say,
hey, we're happy to see Griffith too.
Griffith, man.
Where's
Peter
Joe?
Griffith, super
Joe
happy to see
has to be up at the ass crack at dawn tomorrow, and it's raining, and his car is not
Sad.
good in the rain. So Joe is with us in spirit. He'll probably pop up in the comments to critique something about the show.
And we didn't have a crazy plan because there's really
We have no
nothing
plan,
happening,
guys.
dude.
We're struggling today. We have
There's
shit hasn't been
nothing
happening.
happening.
We don't talk
mean,
about
this is-
politics. If
this is-
we're never gonna do that, and
This is the lull of the year. We're in the lull. A lot of stuff got delayed. I
Yeah.
will say a lot of things got pushed beyond, GTA, of course, to 2026. Marvel's 2 films, Doomsday and Secret Wars, pushed to the end of 2026 and then like the end of 2027.
Speaking of Marvel, they just
Which that fucks me up.
Marvel
Seeing-
Legends just dropped like a whole new
Oh
like
God,
wave of toys, and it's like
can't. I have to
there's a
start
bunch of
selling
2
shit.
packs. It's
I have to start selling shit.
War Machine versus Omega Red. There's Psylocke versus I forget who she's versus. There's Captain America versus Venom. And there's a Juggernaut and a Shumagorath, but they're not calling it Shumagorath because they don't want to pay the owner of the Conan license the name for Shumagorath. Apparently they own the name Shumagorath. So now they're calling him Gargantos or some shit. The same shit they did in Multiverse of Madness.
Gargantos.
Stupid. But the figures look really great. There's a new sculpt for Wolverine. He's more like posable, I guess. Because it's always been a challenge with the Marvel Legends figures to get them to really pose in the ways that they do as superheroes. Because let's face it, how much are you going to do
Can't.
with joints and stuff? But they come out with this new like butterfly joint thing in the shoulders and the legs and shit that makes it more posable. So they just dropped a new Spider-Man with the hyperposability, and a
Spider-Man
new
was-
Hulk is going to have a rubberized chest, so it'll flex in so that you can like make him like do more shit than any of the
Hulk
other Hulk figures
smash.
were able to do.
Spider-Man
cool.
was always the one that he went limp. He had so many joints,
Oh,
his
yeah.
wrists and his elbows and his knees, and
And you'd be
zip.
bending them all the time. That's the
Yeah.
thing, you
And then he
know.
just turned
Get
into
loose.
fucking crash test dummy. So
That was the problem with the vintage Star Wars figures too. Anytime you
Oh.
put them in a ship,
It's like G.I.
bring them up
Joe's.
again, now they're all jiggly and shit.
It would happen to the wrestler toys too, because you'd slam them and
Oh, I
Well, had
fucking
them-
straight up broke the wrestling figures.
yeah, they would like just be like spinning around.
Bret Hart's
on it.
arm broke off. I was super pissed. Then I ended up getting another Bone Cruncher, Bret Hart, but the one that replaced him didn't have sunglasses on, and I thought he looked weird.
He does look weird. He looks not like Bret Hart, but all the Bone Crunchers were ugly. That was a fun game.
Mankind was the only one that looked right because he had a fucking mask on.
Yeah, Mankind. Jesus, I saw a hilarious video of Triple H. It's got to be like a mid to late 2000s video. Interview with Triple H, and he's talking about being on the road with you know.
Oh my God!
Mick
Where
Foley,
he would just like
and he's
take a shower
sweating.
and then put the sweaty clothes back on.
Oh God, yeah.
He had
so
a plastic
gross.
bag that he carried everything. in.
Yeah, he went to customs
He's like
with
he went
a
through
ball
customs
of
with a
clothing.
ball of clothes. Yeah, he didn't even
His
have like
underwear.
luggage.
It's like, Mick, what are you doing, man? I just rented a car, cashed the plane ticket. I'm gonna drive home.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
after
Penny pinching.
just fucking wiping yourself off with your sweaty clothes,
Yep.
and you're gonna get in a car and drive for 8 hours.
It's like it's not bad enough that he put on the dirty clothes again. It's that he showered, then dried himself off with those clothes, and then put them on.
Yeah, that's horrendous. And then he said while he was still wearing his sweatpants, but they were down around his ankles, and I'm like, Mick Foley's from another fucking era.
And then he was putting his sock in people's mouths.
Oh, that
Which
better
I don't
be-
think it was actually
it
the
better
sock
have
he was
been
wearing. It was a
a
clean
prop sock.
Yeah, it was a prop
Mr.
sock.
Socko.
Clean
I
one.
don't want a clean brand new sock in my mouth.
He still pulled that shit out of his pants.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
pulled
yeah,
that
yeah.
from the under side of his.
Yeah.
He still pulled that
sweatpants.
shit out of his pants.
Speaking of smelly wrestlers, though, I watched Dark Side of the Ring, and there's a newer season. They just did the final episode. It was about Muhammad Hassan, who was like the terrorist character that they created after 9/11
remember
that ended up having to get canceled because there was like a London bombing, and UPN was like, you can't have a terrorist Muslim character on anymore. So it was a really interesting episode. But anyway, I watched the episode on Vader, which was pretty good. It's Vader time. Leon White. It was a really solid episode, but one of the things that they talked about in the episode is when he came to WWF at the time, WWE, they didn't like him, one, because he was known for being rough. He paralyzed one guy. The guy had his back was fucked up that he could never wrestle
I
again.
get it then. Okay.
Vince
Say no more.
His
Vince-
eyeball got popped out.
Yeah, that was
They gotta
against
push it back in.
the hell's his name? They talked about that match.
I'm legit gonna have to stand up in like the next 5 minutes. Just
Oh,
so I
hey,
can
yeah.
feel myself freezing.
Vince's
sitting
back's
here.
fucked up.
Well,
But the thing about Vader was nobody wanted to wrestle him, and Shawn Michaels like fucking hated him and was just like, he's fat, he's lazy, and he stunk. That was the thing, is he didn't wash his trunks, so he smelt so bad that like Jim Ross would have to call up Vader's wife to ask her, like, can you spray some damn Febreze on the goddamn clothes? Like that,
Wash it.
Can you just wash his
Can you imagine having to have that conversation with somebody?
They
like,
had the conversation with him
"Oh,
several times,
goddamn,
like, wash your trunks.
You smell like hell.
Yeah,
Susie,
goddamn it,
listen,
Leon, you
this
smell
is
like fucking
Jim.
goddamn
Jim
shit.
Ross here, letting you know.
But
The boys keep telling me it's we need to.
you need to wash your trunks, damn it. Leon, you got to wash your goddamn trunks. And apparently he just got like insulted by it. He didn't.
Insulted.
You
How
know.
could you be insulted when you smell like
Listen,
that?
you stink, and everybody. It's to the point you smell so bad that people are actually going to tell you. Usually, people
When they're
let it go
calling
a
your
little
wife
bit.
over it, it's not a small
Yeah.
thing.
Spray some goddamn Febreze on it, Leon. Damn it.
Bust his balls like a lot when he gets home, please.
But I'll tell you, every one of those episodes does have a point where like you get a little teary eyed. Like they do a good job at helping you like explore the guy behind all of it and yada yada yada. So yeah, highly recommend Dark Side of the Ring. It's always a solid watch.
Yeah.
Solid watch. If you want to learn more about Vader.
All right.
It's
Hell said
time.
he heard that Jim Ross's cancer surgery went well. Apparently,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He had colon cancer, and they apparently believe that they removed everything out of him, which he already had colon problems. If you remember years ago, you might not know this, Vin, but 20 years ago, he had to get like colon surgery of some sort or whatever, something
Right.
down there. And when he was out healing up from that, Vince McMahon did this segment where he dressed up like a doctor, like Dr. Assy or something like that. And he like performed made up funny surgery where he was like pulling stuff out of JR's ass. And it actually like really hurt JR's feelings. His wife
he wasn't happy about that.
Yeah, his wife saw it. She's like, why does he do this? And like it was just like that sick
man
mind of Vince McMahon. He always like fucked with JR. What the hell was it? Doctor something like just stupid. But yeah, hey, we're happy that JR is convalescing. We've got his autograph.
Saw him. Yeah, you guys literally saw him.
His autograph right there on the mic that Vin's
right
talking into there, as well as mine. So
Jim Ross, right?
love us some JR. Another bit of news, I guess, is that the Black Panther video game was canceled.
Yeah, from EA. EA
I didn't even know they were doing that.
Yeah, they got there's a couple of Marvel games on the horizon, but yeah,
They're not canceling the Wolverine game.
No, that's Insomniac. That would be shocking if they
ever
to cancel
coming
that.
out with it.
They're just pissed off that the pre-alpha shit leaked on the internet, so they were very pissed that whatever the game, whatever they're judging, similar to the Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks that came in 2019. It was like, this doesn't look better. This doesn't look good. It's like they're not. It doesn't have any of the
It's
enhancements.
not a fucking video game.
Yeah,
It's
they're
the
literally
skeleton
building
of the
some
game.
of
It's like
the,
showing up and seeing fucking scaffolding. Oh, this building sucks.
Yeah, right. It's like watching
There's
a
no walls, asshole.
It's like watching a movie in production versus going to the theater and watching the movie. You'd be behind the scenes, like you wouldn't even see what was happening because you couldn't
Chris
understand.
Evans didn't really
the
throw
lens.
that.
Right. You didn't. He's
Why
just
is
dressed in
everything?
a
Why
green
is everything
screen.
green?
Why are they in pajamas? Like you're fucking. So why are you looking at leaked footage and making comments on it? Yeah, but Black Panther. That's I don't know how great that could have been because it's EA, and I don't believe in anything EA ever does.
They make a good Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, you got me there.
Which it seems like there's a resurgence.
There's a resurgence because of.
Is it because of Andor? I thought it was
yes.
because there was just videos like.
No,
Is it really because of Andor?
really
People,
because
I'm going to
of-
play
what else Star
Battlefront
Wars is
because
Yeah, but the
happening right
clips
now.
that I'm seeing are all the Darth Vader clips. That's all the people love.
Oh, from
that's,
Battlefront.
he's not an Andor.
No,
No,
that's what I'm
no.
saying.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think it's just.
I saw the one where
It's because of Fortnite. Because they added Star Wars to Fortnite. That's
They put
why I think.
AI Darth Vader in Fortnite, and you can talk to him.
I saw. Yeah, they were really pushing
It's
the
fucking
limits.
hilarious.
And then
'cause
they're
he'll-
getting sued by James Earl Jones's.
No.
Not by his
estate.
estate, by SAG-AFTRA.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
SAG-AFTRA.
By SAG-AFTRA,
Oh,
which
'cause he
is like
gave
the
his
Guild of
permission.
Actors.
His family gave the permission too.
Okay.
His estate gave the permission.
They're also like, how can we get Darth Vader to say the N-word, hard R? And you're like, all right, guys,
can't.
can we not?
Well, and that's not even why they're suing him. SAG-AFTRA is just suing because they think that it sets a dangerous precedent to allow
Definitely.
somebody's voice to be used.
I agree.
But I don't. I mean, if he wants to do it, and do we really want somebody else to play Darth Vader? We're just going to say that he sucks and doesn't compare.
True.
So, I mean, like if you want to keep people happy, his legacy lives on. Gets to
But-
be Darth Vader forever, which is what he wanted.
To a conversation we were having off camera, they're replacing Balin Skull because we lost Ray Stevenson,
Yeah.
and now we got
But-
Sandor fucking Clegane
But
coming
Balin Skull isn't
Is that
Darth
bad?
Vader.
Right,
He's not
and
like-
that's physical
I know,
appearance
I'm
to
just
take
saying.
into account, and like it's just a voice, a mask
in.
anyone
Darth
could wear.
Vader's one, James Earl Jones is one of the most iconic voices in our life or any lifetime. So yeah, it is one of those things that if you can keep it going, it's like cool.
Yeah, I do appreciate that Hayden Christensen is now more accepted and
Yes,
is more part of the Darth Vader
Well,
character
the
and
people that were
story.
kids when he was Anakin grew up, so that's really what it
George
is.
Lucas was right from day one. I watched a whole documentary about the making of the prequels. If you go on Disney Plus, they have the ILM story, and in season 2, it's predominantly about the making of the prequel series, and Jar Jar Binks just getting absolutely hammered in every review, the audience, and George was like, it's for the fucking kids. Like, this movie isn't for 28-year-old men, really. It's, I
But
get
also,
it.
I get that argument, but also you have this geopolitical trade dispute. It is also very mature in a lot of ways, where
It's not only for
both
it's not
fans can
for
appreciate.
you. It's
Yeah,
not for just
but it's got
that.
something for everybody. Where the nerds and the history
You think
buffs
the
or
kids
whoever,
give a fuck about the geopolitical fucking?
they don't
trade
even understand
blockade?
it. I mean, we
Exactly,
didn't
yeah.
understand any of that shit. It was just the
They laugh at
context.
you know.
Yeah.
That's great.
I
think it's
I
hilarious.
love Jar Jar Binks. I mean, I thought it was funny.
actually-
Like
The thing I took away from that documentary was how much of that performance really was Ahmed
Best.
Best. Like all the physical, everything he was doing was actually what they were going to animate it, and then so originally he was going to be in a suit, and they were going to just like do his face and shoulders, and then they realized it was double the effort and time to do just that versus doing the full body. So then they did all the motion tracking and stuff, and his performance he is Jar Jar like 100%. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. It wasn't just the animators trying to make him flimsy and kind of goofy, but he's like a really very talented actor who also helped in the lightsaber battle, either between Obi-Wan and Anakin or the one between Yoda and
Sidious
City
in the Senate
Dooku.
chamber.
Dooku.
Oh.
Dooku battle. Apparently that he helped choreograph a ton of that stuff because of how they wanted Yoda's movements to be. They weren't sure how to have Yoda fight originally, and they're like going back and forth like what's the best way to have him move?
Jumping around.
And yeah, it was like
Flipping and
jumping,
jumping.
flipping. It's like, oh no shit. So Ahmed Best's stamp is on those movies in other ways.
And they gave him a little redemption because the
Oh, yeah, that was a great
Mandalorian,
scene.
they had him be the Jedi that actually got Grogu out of the Jedi Temple. So.
Yeah, that was cool. I
Give us some
appreciate it.
Yoda, Rob.
Yes. Found something we have, I would say.
The cave.
The cave.
Griffith says
Remember
the
your
movies
favorite,
aren't
the
for kids.
cave.
You'd have to debate that with George Lucas, my friend. I don't know. You'd have to watch that documentary and watch what George Lucas says. It's like,
I mean, the pod racing and the Sebulba stuff, like that was all for the kids,
Some of them is going to win, I think.
Well, he was trying to be Ben-Hur, it was like
yeah, totally.
what it
There's
was.
a lot of influences and where that
Ben-Hur.
movie came from. Yeah,
Ben-Hur is a classic movie with
It's like
Charlton
a Greek
Heston.
or something, isn't it?
No,
Like
he's Roman.
it's like when did you
Chariots.
first? How old were you when you first watched Star Wars?
3.
I was like
Okay.
12 or
Younger.
13. I was a little older.
I grew
Yeah.
up with Star Wars.
I know. That's my point.
I mean, that's not true because I saw the trilogy, the prequels first as a kid.
Oh, really?
And then I watched the original trilogy with my brother when he was dying with his wisdom
Oh.
teeth ripped out.
It's funny because when the prequels were about to be announced or were announced, that's when they did the theatrical re-release of.
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah, my brother and I went to go
so-
see all of them.
That's when I first saw it in theaters. But we had the trilogy,
On tape.
Darth Vader, on tape. So I probably watched. Star Wars was one of those things that was just there, My stepdad really liked Star Wars, Star Trek, and because those movies came out when he was fucking, probably I think 15 or something like that.
See, the biggest shame I think for
Star
me,
Wars is for kids. Sorry, guys.
the biggest shame is that I always knew because it was always spoofed in other cartoons and things. Luke, I am your father. So I wish I could have experienced that and like finding out like he's his father and been surprised
Right.
when I went into it watching it. The only thing I knew was Luke, I am your father, which that would have been really cool to experience that shock. We
Whole
do got some
theater.
comments here.
Whole theater went.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Stephen Bias said, Theater 77, I was 4.
Woof.
No one had the effect that Darth had on children. He was a nightmare fuel for us all. Yeah, Darth Vader is, And that's the shame, like I didn't get to experience him like that because he was spoofed so many times in so many funny ways that, the darkness and the mystique, I think, when I finally watched him wasn't
That's why a lot
there.
of people argued about the prequels, because it gave Vader a background and it gave him grounding.
I love that
You
story.
couldn't.
I thought they
create
did a
your
great
own
job
Vader.
telling
You
the
had
story.
Your own thoughts on what Vader was,
he was
You could no longer do
foreboding. He had invisible powers. Well, my dad always says to this day, when he first saw Darth Vader, he's like, he walked on the screen, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
Like, you know he's trouble. Like, you don't even know. He didn't even do anything.
Is he a machine?
He didn't even say anything. He just walks in, looks at the bodies on the floor, and then continues walking. That's your first impression of Darth Vader.
Oh,
Here's
black.
With
breathing.
the breathing.
Yeah.
And it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Definitely.
And he's in this giant ass ship. Like, you think that the first ship passing by is big.
Yeah.
And then the fucking other one comes, and it's like you felt like the ship was never going to end.
What was the name of his
was the
like primary
first.
ship that he flew?
The Executor?
Is that what it was?
What, his ship? Like the one
Vader's
that he's-
ship. It's like a known thing, but it'll
fighter,
be
but-
like the ship. It's like
No, it was
isn't a variant.
It was
like,
a super star destroyer, the Executor. That was
but
his
he's
ship.
also got like his own TIE fighter.
Well, he has a TIE Interceptor.
The TIE Interceptor. I think isn't there a name that he's got for it? It's like a modified TIE fighter, right?
No, it's a TIE Interceptor.
I think it's modified though. Like
Well,
he
it had-
customized
A
it.
TIE
with, like,
fighter
a
just looks
Corvette
like a bow
engine.
tie. The TIE Interceptor
has
has
the-
like the forked front.
Right.
of
Right.
the-
Right.
it has,
And it's like hexagonal, kind of like.
the wings are
Yeah.
curved, and the front is whatever
Yeah.
bowed. Interceptor. But
One of
yeah,
the best
Vader always
pilots.
had the.
I like the
always had cool
backstory.
shit.
I loved the whole story they told with Palpatine. I thought that they did a really like how he subtly corrupted him over the
I don't know
series
what
of
the fuck
several
he was
movies.
thinking in Revenge of the Sith, though, and all the weird noises he was making.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Not only that,
Loved it.
you know how many different versions they probably had, and those are the ones that George took.
He had to act with his face, I think, because in reality, even though he was able to, pull off the scenes and
It's like-
fight
He
and everything
sounded
like
An
that.
invisible ghost was sucking his dick while he was naming Darth Vader.
Yeah, that was
Vader.
horrible.
Henceforth, you shall be known as
Darth
Vader.
Vader.
Like he just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like the epiphany fucking version. Like, it's just got this. Why does it go up? It should be Vader.
But despite all that, there were a lot of good subtle things, like
Oh,
when
I
he says,
find
Jedi Master Anakin. And he's like, I'm not a Jedi Master. Oh, you're not? Why not?
Oh, he's so.
He
sly.
put that- he
He's
was the
Peter
reason why
Baelish before
Anakin-
There was a Peter Baelish.
Yeah. He's the reason why Anakin crashed out when we will give you a seat on the council, but we will not give you the rank of Jedi. What is it? Is that,
Master.
we will not give you the rank of Jedi
It's not
Master.
fair.
It's not fair.
It's like it's unheard of. It's never been done. History.
And then they're all just look at it. I'm like, you see, you're getting angry. You're getting
See,
angry.
That was their fault, though, because
They
let's
rage
face
baited
it,
him.
If you look at the Clone Wars, and that's supposed to be canonically what Anakin was to the Jedi Order, he saved every one of them motherfuckers in that room's life multiple times in all those battles. For
If
them
you
to like
watch-
doubt him like that,
If you watch the Clone Wars, so similar
Yeah.
to like Chris like said before, where it's like, oh, Andor is like retroactively making Rogue One relevant. The cartoon
I said that off
Clone
air, but
Wars
it's true.
is absolutely 1,000,000% that for
it
the
saves,
first for that movie.
Yeah.
For the second for Clone Wars episode 2 there. It makes all of that make sense. Everything that happens in that movie suddenly is like, oh shit. That totally computes. And to your point, yeah, like that version of Anakin is the one we wish we had on screen in the movie, because he was.
Which is why people were
Heroic.
so hyped when they had the
And they called
Ahsoka
the
show,
movie-
because it's like
Right.
we got to kind of see
A
live
both
action that
version-
version of Anakin because
Yeah.
it threw flashbacks and shit.
Yep.
Wearing the fucking armor and
Whoever said Ahsoka was the worst, I fucking hate you, by the way. I forgot who said that, but Ahsoka was awesome. If you don't understand why it's awesome, do yourself a favor and watch some of the other content.
it's the people that were resistant to everything else and then just decided to watch Ahsoka. It's like
That's weird now.
you didn't watch Clone Wars, you didn't watch Rebels, you didn't care about any of this shit.
Which I didn't either, and I still enjoyed
Ahsoka was basically season 4 of Rebels.
Yeah, 100. Oh my god, 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Especially with the involvement of Sabine, the return of fucking what's his name? Ezra.
Yep. That's huge. That's
You
fucking
know,
huge.
Harrison
When
Dula is in
the way
fucking
Ezra
first
goes
episode.
out in the cartoon,
And
you're
they've
like,
confirmed that Zeb Orrelios is going to be in the Mandalorian movie.
oh. I haven't heard
Werner
anything
Herzog.
on that. They're like whisper quiet about that.
And I love that Zeb is actually based on the original Ralph McQuarrie sketches of, it was either Chewbacca or Han Solo. I think it was Han Solo.
That was Chewie.
I think it was originally what Han Solo was going to be. Han Solo was going to be an alien, too.
Like, let's just put Harrison Ford in there.
Yeah, let's ask Harrison. Harrison's like, I really don't want to.
I'm not wearing that thing.
I'm not putting on any makeup.
No way.
Yeah, he's
George, you can go to hell.
Shit.
You need to kill me in the second movie, George. What am I even doing here? I don't want to be here, George.
Yeah, no, I will say that, and I said it before the show, but I absolutely hated Rogue One, the movie. I thought it was awful. And I think they needed to make Andor to make Rogue One just better and paint more context.
There's no show that's going to make the fucking sequel trilogy more palatable, though.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Is it is interesting that all these newer shows and animated shows or little mini series and everything, they have never touched. They haven't done anything with this newest trilogy. Like, is there any extended
because there's so
lore?
much fan backlash. They know they have a shit.
But like, you would think there'd be like a cartoon
know they fed
animated
us a
thing
shit
with
sandwich.
Rey flying around or something. Like, there's nothing. Like,
When you
there's
go to the
nothing
parks,
do.
there's Ray and
When
shit
did-
all over the place.
I just want to know. I want to know this. When did making money become a conspiracy? When did like making movies to make money become like this big like? I can't believe they did it for the money. You
Right.
know, like yeah, they're looking for a market to market toys, to market product. You know, who buys this shit? Well, now we do. Why? Because we grew up with it. You know, we made our parents buy it for us. Stephen Bias actually had a good one. Rob will love this. When I got the toys in '79 and received Darth, my friend was like, "Why would you get that? He's evil." That's what he did to us.
He's like, it's like a hex. Like, it's like
oh my
dark
God, he's the
spirits,
bad guy. He's
voodoo.
the baddest of all the bad guys.
Yeah.
He's pure evil.
He's my favorite
Darth
bad guy of
Vader.
all time.
And also, but
Then
the
you
fact
fell.
that he goes out good, so you
Yeah,
have a
it's
reason
the
to love him.
redemption.
You have a reason to love him in the
Tell
end.
your sister, you were
How did you guys feel when you first saw him take off the helmet?
Go,
Were you
my son,
underwhelmed by
leave
what he
me.
looked like, or do you?
I'll not leave you. I've got to save you.
I didn't
What do you
expect
have?
him to be an old man. There was just something so formidable about Darth Vader, and probably when I was a kid, not fully understanding that he's like more robot than human, and not really having the full.
Oh, I
breadth
watched
of
it
what
so young.
happened.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
So yeah, when the helmet comes off and he's like this bald old gray, I was just like, huh. I didn't expect that to be him. I thought he'd be like, I don't know, somebody strong and
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know, Arnold or something like that. But it was just this like,
Like
and you're
Humpty
like,
Dumpty.
Kevin Smith always has great takes on, if you've ever watched Kevin Smith movies, Dogma, Chasing Amy, he's always going after. Star Wars always finds a way
Oh yeah.
into a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
And the rant in Chasing Amy about sullying his beautiful black visage when this feeble, crusty old
Never
white
fuck
man.
with a Jedi master.
So
son.
funny. It's the best rant. It has
They
to,
had to do the helmet reveal though. They had to take
you
it
had
off.
to show that he was a human. You had to show that
Fuck
he
Lando
wasn't.
Calrissian.
That's the. He was a vulnerable human who was in pain and psychological anguish.
And his strength came from the Force. It wasn't necessarily his
Right.
Well, his
physical
strength came
body.
from his hate, and there's nothing in the universe he hates more than himself.
right.
So that's what fuels everything.
He killed Anakin Skywalker. You didn't do it.
Think he hates
Obi-Wan.
himself though. I always
He
saw
absolutely
him
hates
as a
himself.
self.
Killed Padme.
Absolutely hates
As far
himself.
as she's concerned, he killed Padme. We learned that, not till the prequels, but yeah.
He betrayed everything he ever was and everyone he ever loved.
She's healthy, but she died of a broken heart. But yeah, as far as he was concerned, he choked her. She passed out, and she was dead from that moment on, and I think in his mind.
She's lost the will to live.
We're losing her.
Ooba.
I
Ooba.
love how she's like, Luke,
Hayden
Leia.
also
It's like,
sucked. It was weird to see him humanized, Steven said. Griffith said, fans were pissed because it went from being more of a adult film in the original trilogy to Goofy and Kitty because they were going after the market to make money. And it's like...
It was a space opera that kind of turned into like a space soap opera.
In the prequels, yeah, the prequels definitely my biggest, gripe with it is
It had charm and wit in the original. This one kind of had like a disconnect.
this one was George Lucas unleashed. And I don't know if now, because of the way people nostalgize, whatever it is, they think like these stories came from one mind. And the thing with George Lucas, like you said, was his first wife. First wife helped him.
Yeah, Marshall Lucas was a driving force behind the success of Star Wars.
Making it make sense. Then the editors also had a huge part in editing the movie to make sense because the way it was shot and
she divorced him right as I think Return of the Jedi was being released in theaters.
So there's a lot of pieces to why those first films weren't fully under George's control in a sense. He had the vision and he of course wrote the scripts, but it required, and it was such an indie thing. They were doing so many new things between ILM and the way they were even editing the movie. It was a collaboration that benefited, from the collaboration. But
the original Star Wars was a Hail Mary that turned into a touchdown.
Right, yeah, absolutely. It was the game-winning touchdown with 0 seconds on the clock.
And then the fucking Empire Strikes Back was a kickoff that became another touchdown.
Which was also co-written by others and directed by somebody else.
Lawrence Kasdan.
Right. It wasn't like so now it's weird because, Disney owns Star Wars and they're like, Disney's killing it. George should have, blah, blah. And you're like, listen, George...
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Right. George put his stamp on it in so many negative ways or negative perceived ways because those prequels were...
A big part of the problem with the prequels, though, was that Star Wars always felt like it was real. Like it was grounded.
It was happening.
It was happening.
In a galaxy
and it was
far away.
I don't know, technologically more advanced in the prequels, even though that's supposed to be like 20 years prior.
Right.
And everything looks just so different because it's in CG form and all this shit that none of it feels real.
Yeah, it's not tangible.
It doesn't feel like they're in these places. And the dialogue is really where George suffers the most.
Right.
Even in the original Star Wars, Alec Guinness had to sit down with them and be like, this isn't how it should be written.
Right.
Right.
Carrie Fisher, she loved to make fun of the way they.
And it's funny because Carrie Fisher ended up becoming a gifted script doctor, and she doctored scripts that you wouldn't even know. She doctored the fucking script to Hook.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that. She's got credits on that.
So here's a funny Easter egg. There's a scene where you see a man and a woman walking on a bridge when they kind of pan out in London, and the man is George Lucas and the woman is Carrie Fisher. So they actually have an Easter egg in Hook, which is pretty cool. But yeah, she doctored a bunch of scripts.
So Stephen
if-
Bias said, "I
See?
pray."
You think I don't believe that one bit. If Lucas comes back, we are saved. You have your George Lucas and Dave Filoni. There's no reason. George doesn't.
I think they're
want
doing a good
to
job
do it.
right now.
George, I don't know what people need to understand that after he did the prequels and was slammed for doing those, and then he let Dave kind of do the Clone Wars thing and left him to do that himself. He just didn't want to do it anymore. He doesn't want to deal with the fan base. He doesn't want to deal with the backlash. He was happy to sell that shit for fucking billions of dollars. Obviously, now his legacy, comes into question because those newest movies were terrible. But once they elevate, once they deprioritize Kathleen Kennedy and prioritize Dave Filoni's storytelling, it became better. But I think the damage was done after those 3 recent
Rian
movies.
Johnson was really directly to blame.
Oh, absolutely. He's the ultimate fuck you kind of director where he wants to do the thing that
He wants to make his mark.
wants to do what the audience doesn't want or something like that. He doesn't want to give you what you expect. He wants to give you the unexpected. And when it comes to Star Wars or these things that people hold so dear and near and dear to their childhoods, they associate them with their relationships with their parents and their brothers and sisters. It's like such a deep emotional connection that Rian Johnson just spit on all that. And everyone, a lot of people were very fucking offended by, even to
Mark Hamill's fucking
Mark Hamill
insulted.
himself was just like, this is not what I don't see this at all in my character ever doing this. I don't ever see him being this way. I don't understand. And he was paid to just shut up and do it. But then then Dave Filoni gave us the Luke that we've been craving.
Mando
and the rescue. So, yeah, Star Wars is always the most polarizing of topics outside of politics, I think. Stephen Bias.
Yeah, we got a good comment here. Stephen Bias said, where I lost my spot here.
Griffith said it too. That's fine.
He said, I pray you guys have read the Charles Soule Star Wars work, Darth Vader comic, which shows how rotten he really is. Is that the one where they actually show him like order the drone strike or whatever on?
That's what Rob was collecting.
Aunt Beru and
Rob has.
I have all the Darth Vader comics.
They show him like go there. He was mad about something, so he like just sent the bomb on them.
It's interesting because the way that they've done the comics for Darth Vader and the main Star Wars line is that they all happen in the same timeline, and that's why when they do crossovers and shit, you kind of got to get all the titles and stuff.
All right.
But when it first came out, it was around A New Hope. Then they transitioned. It was like, after Empire Strikes Back, and now it's like after Return of the Jedi. So when it was first coming out, they had Boba Fett like finding out Skywalker's name, and like that's how Darth Vader first finds out that it's a Skywalker that blew up the Death Star, and like he cracks the fucking like window and he's all by himself. He finds the fucking former handmaidens of Padme and gets one of them to join the Empire with him and shit. And that was an interesting storyline. There's a lot of stuff in those comics that a lot of gems, and they're supposedly canonical. So I think that those stories are part of the Disney canon because it's a Marvel comic.
I love him pairing up with Thrawn in that one book, young Thrawn, and then in the two timelines, young Thrawn and then older Thrawn.
I got you a comic book of that.
Yeah.
23rd Productions disagrees with whatever I say.
Isn't that Jacob?
Probably.
I think that's Jacob.
Boba Fett? I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're crazy if you don't think the way that they were able to tie in
Andor
Book of Boba, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian, the three different shows, into
you're drunk on
one
stupid.
cohesive story that kind of spans across these three different shows. I enjoyed Book of Boba.
Yeah.
I did.
It wasn't my favorite. I love the theme song.
I wasn't in it, and I didn't like the biker gang.
The biker gang, but they were on the fucking screen for 5 minutes. They really weren't a big enough part of it to ruin it for me.
No, I get it.
I just hate that Boba Fett has his fucking helmet off all the time.
At least they didn't do that.
I like that they're explaining what happens. Like they're creating, I think, what Timothy Zahn created in the Thrawn books, where you have like the criminal guy, the fucking George. Why can't I remember his name? They have like the Han Solo, like the criminal guy, which in this case now is Boba. So you have like the criminal part of like a building alliance. You have Mando is his own solid character.
I wish they'd
you
make
have
Talon
Ahsoka.
Card a character.
Talon Card. Well, that's the thing. I feel like Boba is kind of the Talon Card in this. I like Talon Card's character. He was great. But in this sense, that's what the role that Boba is filling.
For those that don't know who Talon Card is, think like Antonio Banderas in Star Wars universe.
As like a criminal mastermind that's actually good.
Yeah.
He ends up helping Luke and them.
Yeah, and and it was that's how they got with Mara Jade. Mara Jade was part of his crew.
Right. So 23rd Production said that he just didn't like the ending. If you mean of Boba, he takes over is it Tatooine?
Jabba's palace. Yeah.
Takes over Jabba's palace, and they set up for a future story with Jabba the Hutt's, I don't know, nieces or nephews or whatever they were. They have like those Hutt twins, the weirdos. I don't know if they were like incestuous or something too, but they flee. But they're still involved somewhere. They got the sheriff dude got revived at the end, if I remember correctly.
I don't subscribe to that fucking Disney shit either.
What?
everything they've done is terrible. If you didn't watch Visions, Tales of the Jedi,
Visions
fucking
was outstanding.
Ahsoka, if you didn't watch any of the content and you're just harping on like those 3 suck-ass movies, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I even
they've
got
done
the
a
black
really
and white
good job.
samurai fucking
Pretty much anything. Bad
Sith
Batch.
guy from the first episode as a figure.
Anything Star Wars animated has been fantastic from them. And Obi-Wan's not my favorite, but it's good.
I enjoyed a lot of things on Obi-Wan.
I like more. I rebut what I said in a different episode here. Obi-Wan is probably like anywhere between it's like a 7-8. It's like a
They played it close to the mark.
They
had Obi-Wan and Vader fighting on Tatooine.
There are moments that are cool when Vader's tearing ass through the village and that conversation between Hayden. But I liked the Hayden Christensen, Ahsoka, Darth Vader shit. I thought
That's
was
my biggest
really
problem
cool.
with Andor. I mean, not Andor. Rogue One was that they basically made the beginning of Star Wars not make sense. Like I'm talking a New Hope.
You just mean a lot of good.
Well,
whole
again, if you watch
conversation.
Andor, things will
Several
start to make-
transmissions were beamed to this ship by rebel spies.
you'd have to
I
see
want to know
it.
what happened to the plans they sent you.
You'd have to watch.
I don't
it.
know what you're talking about. I remember the Imperial sent on a diplomatic mission to
You'd have to watch.
Darth Vader
That's the thing
literally
about
sees
fiction.
the fucking ship fly away.
Fictional
He's
characters.
standing there watching the Tantive
Fictional
4 leave.
fucking characters.
He hands he sees the disc with the plans, handed, delivered, in that hallway, in front of him.
He doesn't know what's
and
on that
sees
disc.
the fucking ship blast off.
He doesn't necessarily know
He's
what's
chasing
on
after the people with the fucking plans. That's why he's going down that hallway.
Well, they know what they
Stupid. They could have just fucking made it something different.
It didn't need the physical handoff.
No.
But that was a badass scene where he shows up in that
So
hallway.
make it that the guy's going to the thing to send the fucking message or whatever. Plug it in and send it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Get to the console, plug in the thing, hit the button, and then.
And then
which
fucking
is
tell us.
ultimately
Transmitted
what
instead
happens.
of
They
handed
the
off.
person that got the
and
disc.
Tantive 4 is not there. Like, it picks up a relay or something. That would make the whole fucking ending of the movie make more sense.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
There's, like, little tweaks that it just... Why I get annoyed with that movie is because they didn't respect
when you
the
see
source material enough
And
to make a
when-
change that would have been minor to the production but major to the story.
But here's the problem too: when you watch the credits roll, you know whose name isn't there, and I hate to like keep referencing it and make him sound like better than he is, but you don't see Dave Filoni. You don't see someone who's in tune with the nuances and the subtleties of the story that fans are truly in touch with when it comes to every little word. Been watching this movie since 1976. I've seen the movie, you could recite the script. I can't even go see it in theaters with you. I know better than to go see it with you when they put it out, because if we went to the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary, you would have recited every line before it happened, and I would have to leave the movie. So
That's what's
when
going to
there's
happen with
that
Indiana Jones.
level, yeah.
gonna
Oh
happen.
God, yeah. Me and you are gonna be
I
fucking
suddenly remember
cracking up.
Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll finally see it. 'cause I
You
haven't
should,
seen
you
it.
fuck. You
Watch
love the
the
game.
first
Indiana
two so you
Jones
can watch
is
the third
great.
one in the
Oh,
fucking
is it
movie
the third
theaters.
one in the theaters? Nah.
It's so great, and to see that in theaters
I never saw it in
to
theaters.
the nines. But yeah,
Such a
no,
good
never.
game, even without
I've seen
having
Raiders,
seen
I
it.
think, twice
Such a
in
great
the theaters,
game.
but I never saw Last Crusade. I never saw Temple of Doom in the movie theater.
You could skip Acolyte. Yeah, you could skip Skeleton
I didn't
Crew.
see. I didn't
probably.
see Acolyte. Skeleton Crew
Watch-
was actually pretty good.
It was okay. I was.
I
I
thought
just
it was
wasn't
cute.
in a Star Wars mood.
You know
like
what it is?
A few months
It's
ago.
Star Wars Goonies.
Oh, that's fun. I could do that.
Exactly what it is.
I could do that. Tales of the Underworld that just came out. I love
Tales from the Underworld was great. 6
Um,
episodes. Three episodes about what's her name?
Sabayoth. No,
No.
I don't remember her name.
Fuck. Why do I know her? Asajj Ventress.
Ventress.
And then 3 about Cad Bane.
Yes, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane was a great character. Having not watched
My
the
dad
Cad
loves
Bane
Cad
Rebels.
is phenomenal.
He's like
in
a
Clone
cowboy
Wars.
badass. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
he's-
like
Clone
Lee
Wars
Van
is
Cleef in
so
the fucking
cool.
Star Wars.
they did a good job
Actually-
making a live action version of him. I thought that he looked pretty good and he sounded incredible.
Who's the pirate from Clone Wars?
Fucking.
I
I know what you're talking about. He's got the wrinkled face. The fuck is his
yeah,
name?
with the goggles.
In fact,
Oh, you're talking about the alien dude?
Yeah, the alien pirate.
Oh! I know this. I even know
It's
this.
cool. It's funny because
does it start with an O?
in the rise,
It's like 2 syllables. Octi, something like that.
No.
Come on, audience, hit us. You guys are Star Wars pros.
I hate myself right now. I know
You guys
his
need
name,
George
too.
Lucas
You
to
didn't
come
ask me
back.
right now. Hanzo.
Hanzo, yes, it is.
Hondo.
Oh, it's Hondo, right?
Right,
Hondo.
started with an
Hanzo's the
H.
Hanzo sword.
Hondo.
It's funny because he's the rider of the Resistance, like
Well, his
one
voice
of the
is
main
Winnie the Pooh.
characters. Oh, really?
Jim Cummings' voice is fucking Hondo.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Ambu
Marvel
mentioned that the
CGI, I
comics
don't
are
know what the
great.
fuck that's about.
He said the Darth Vader in the comics is wild.
This Marvel CGI.
Time he ripped
schlock
open the
nonsense.
Force and left his body.
Bro, he fucking kills like a cosmic fucking like entity like in space. Like the thing tries to like invade his mind and he like fucking fights back. Like the
Adam,
shit that he
AK
does in
did
the
say
comics.
Hondo.
It's a shame they can't make another Force Unleashed because that was a solid game, a
those are the
solid
best.
story. I mean, I think it kind of lost the plot like after the second or the third one.
The second one sucked. There wasn't a third one.
You know, actually, I found out weird little factoid about that game. That game was based on the engine that they used for GTA 4.
The Rage engine? I thought it was EA that made it.
Not the Rage. I'm just talking about the animation
The
and the
physics?
dummy effects. That was all natural
ragdolls?
motion. It's called. And then it turned out that was bought by Zynga or some dumb mobile platform shit. But then Take-Two bought all of Zynga and now owns the rights to that whole engine. I was like, oh no shit. But
Wow.
anyway, that's probably why you wouldn't see.
That makes sense because when you'd pick up the Jawas and just
They
like
do
chuck
that.
them across the map, like,
Oh yeah, it was
That's the best.
just
I remember
throw
like
'em.
when they were developing that game, I was going on like the LucasArts website and like watching them develop the game.
Yeah.
And they were showing like test footage of the stormtroopers where you would throw them and they try to like grab onto ledges and like
Yeah,
we're fighting back.
Yes.
They were also showing you like different physics for like boxes breaking. It used to be
Right.
like a frame of a box and then a frame of a broken box. And then they kind of like showed how they made it splinter differently.
Stacks
And that was
of
like where I
barrels.
started seeing like real change in video game technology.
Yeah.
Those
I was super hyped when that game came out.
independent physics.
And it was great on the Wii too. I know a lot of people didn't like the Wii, but you got the Wiimote being a fucking lightsaber was sick.
Oh, that's true. That's cool.
That was sick because it was really responsive. Like, a lot of the VR shit I find it's like I
Meh.
find there's a disconnect with it. It feels fake. It feels like I'm struggling to make this and that happen. I don't have the space to really,
Yeah, swing it. Like,
enjoy
swing.
the full VR experience. But like with the Wiimote and stuff like that, killing people with the lightsaber and shit was great.
Those were fantastic games. The second one was just a short, like
Well, that was the problem.
15-minute. Like
The first game was like outstanding. The second game, I remember going to GameStop and I even got the fucking midnight release. I went to the midnight release to get Force Unleashed 2. I got the limited edition. It had the fucking USB stick with the Star Killer, and it was like this whole thing.
Yep.
And I remember I was gonna call out of work the next day. It was I
Hell
sat
yeah.
down. I put the game on, and I think I got home like midnight. I think by 3 a.m. I had beaten the game. It was like something ridiculous.
Awful.
Like that night, I finished the game, and I was like, "Boy, this is a long cutscene." And I was like, "This is the end of the fucking game."
Yeah. Yeah, that one was
Like they spent so much time making a pretty looking game, they forgot to write a whole fucking video game.
and the whole idea of Darth Vader having a secret apprentice was sick. It was such a cool idea that
Yeah, it
this
was
is
just
Darth
like
Vader's like secret
upsetting
apprentice.
that they dropped the ball so heavily on the.
But
second
don't they
game.
kill him in the first game, and then in the second game, it's just like a clone,
clone,
of
yeah.
him, and Vader's like trying to spin him again.
Yeah, but
Pretty
then
much.
Forget how
I
it all
think the
ends.
Emperor finds out or whatever, and you got to fight the Emperor, and you got to fight Vader or whatever.
So you die at the end.
Can't remember. God, it's been so long.
Gotta look into that.
Us in the house.
Yeah, still.
Ben would love Dr. Afra. I don't know Dr. Afra. That
Dr.
needs to
Afra
get
is another
made.
one of the offshoot comic books.
Dr. Afra. Who's Dr.
She's kind of like another Han Solo kind of character, but like techie, and she's got her own story. I'm not a huge Dr. Afra fan, but I have a bunch of her comics because typically when they do the big crossovers, you got to get her comics too, otherwise you don't get the full story.
You're missing the connecting piece.
She had a lot to do
It's a
with
secret
when they
plot
did the
to make you buy more stuff.
They brought what's her name into the story more, from Game of Thrones.
Wait, who from Game of Thrones?
What's her name?
Which one?
Daenerys?
Daenerys.
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark's character from Solo
Oh, right.
ends up taking over the Crimson Dawn.
Oh.
And it was a really interesting storyline because this one, like I said, it took place between Empire and Jedi at that time.
Right.
And Boba Fett leaves Cloud City with Han Solo and Carbonite and then gets ambushed, and Han gets stolen from Boba. And the Crimson Dawn has Han Solo and Carbonite,
Right.
and they start auctioning him off to everybody. The rebels, the Empire, every crime syndicate. Like, it's like, who's who wants fucking Han Solo. And they have this big fucking, like, auction meeting and stuff, and all the heads of the criminal
What's the name of the
Empire
crime
really
syndicate
fucking-
in Boba? Was it the Pike Syndicate?
The Pikes, yeah.
And they're like a
They're
different.
just another,
not
like, the
going for
Huts,
that
the
shit.
Pikes, the fucking, the Conja Club. They're all fucking,
Ganja Club.
yeah.
But they were like, but they
Killed
sold
the
drugs,
Concha
right?
Club.
That was what made them, I guess, unique. Was they like
Well, the
really
Pikes
ran
were
drugs?
were slavers, too. Because I believe they
Well,
were.
I guess so
in
were the Huts.
Clone Wars too.
I mean, Jabba hooked Leia up as a slave.
But
Jabba no
he
bother.
bought slaves, but he didn't sell slaves.
He just tortured them.
They actually had a slave trade. The
Right.
Pikes.
Right.
They actually,
Who's the enemy
Spice, too.
in Thrawn? Because they were like capturing the little girls. They were, right? You know what I'm talking about? Who was like the enemy of Thrawn's people? The Chiss.
Oh,
That he considers like the biggest threat to
the Chiss.
the Chiss. No, well, the Chiss are.
No, the. Put me on the spot here. What the fuck are they called? The Grisk.
The Grisk.
The Grisk.
And they're considered like the biggest threat, not just to his people,
Well,
but to, like, the Empire.
they're the threat to the Outer Rim.
Right.
That's basically because they're very manipulative. Especially the leader of the Grisk is like Thrawn level, clever.
He sounds like the Count. Remember, he's like he sounds like
No,
some
he's-
Jamaican guy.
He's a Jamaican guy.
Yeah.
The Grisk will be taking the cheese.
Yeah,
empire
yeah.
for themselves.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hey, you know what? We got some Star Wars. You know, when we have nothing to talk about, we could always just go
Default
back
to
to
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Always
It's,
back to Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But yeah, Indy's been fun on PlayStation.
dude, I've been playing Oblivion, and then I was not able to load any of my saves.
Didn't you say you were able to get one? Then?
So I was 40 hours in. You know, it's not the worst if I had to restart, but I was going to be a little pissed off. I was really enjoying it, and then all of a sudden, it just would not load the games. And I made tickets with Bethesda. I was talking to their support. They had me looking in all these different folders. I was looking on Reddit. Other people have this issue where it just, you hit load, and it doesn't, the saves are there. You could even see, like, the picture of the save,
Right.
like, in the game, but it just would not load. And very, very, very long story short, after, like, 3 weeks, I was about to give up. I turned it on. I tried to load the game. It didn't load. I ran out, grabbed some food, let it sit for 30 minutes. And then when I came back, I tried to load it. Still didn't load. Chose a different save, just button mashed it, and it worked. So I was able to get my Oblivion game back, playing that when I can, which is seldom enough when I'm trying to make time for the gym. But we have a good amount of stuff that we could at least play right now. You know,
I have a
Tons of good stuff.
backlog. I'm in
Yeah,
the
I
middle
finished
of
the
Death
story of
Stranding.
Oblivion, but I pissed myself off because I fucked myself out of the end of the Thieves Guild mission because I didn't grab the Elder Scroll from the Mages Guild before I made the escape. I didn't know that they don't automatically put it in your inventory. And
you don't save frequently like you should.
I quick save. That's my problem.
Yeah, and those get overwritten once you walk outside
I
of a
fucked
door.
up.
You need
Yeah.
like 4 tiers of saves. You need the primary, the backup, the one that trails the backup by about an hour, and then the 2 hour. You gotta.
I've got like 100 saves at this point. Like I save
I'm
like
trying
every
not to
20
kill all
minutes.
the fucking save space on my system.
It doesn't take up too much.
What is it? What do you mean? It's just a save point.
Yeah, it doesn't take up too
After
much
the
storage.
big thing.
But also, I don't know if having so many saves is why I had issues loading it in the first place. So
You're on the PC too.
PC gaming, man,
Notorious
as
pain in the
rewarding as it
fucking
is when
ass.
it works, it is such a fucking process
It's a race car.
sometimes.
I always say it's a race car.
Yeah. You can't just get
owning-
out and race. You gotta, you know,
tune it
freaking
up,
tune it up
And
and
make sure
let it
everything the
sit
bolts
idle.
are tight. Oh,
Yeah.
go race, and then when you get back, you got to tuck it in a little too. You got to make sure
Yeah,
you
yeah.
retighten. It's. I've always said, like, people get really hyped, like PC Master Race, and I'm like, yeah, but when Windows fucking sucks and the drivers are, I got to update the drivers, and then I got to update the Discord.
I mean, look, it's
Well,
worth
I
it,
gotta jump
and
in
it
there.
does look better. I mean, I've seen it on his
course,
PS5
duh.
Pro, and you know,
The
it
fucking
looks
shit.
insane.
A V8 engine's faster than a 6-cylinder with no
Yeah.
turbo. It's like, yeah.
Still
course.
asked, is this the original Oblivion or remastered? They remastered it, so it is. But the thing is, they didn't make it a different game.
Right.
It still feels exactly like what playing Oblivion feels like, which is like a little clumsy.
right.
And I mean that in the most loving way ever.
Right.
But like, you know, they'll be like, somebody will like say this epic quote like about killing somebody, and then they'll like go invisible, and then they'll like open the door to walk out, and then like the door will just like swing them into the wall, and then they're like stuck between the wall and the door, like walking. Like, that's the shit that made Oblivion so fun, of those awkward exchanges with, like, you know, it'll be like a guard like drowning in lava, and then you like walk up to him and it'll be like, be careful out there, and then like just die immediately. Like, that's the funny, goofy
Charm.
shit.
I don't know you and I don't want to know you.
I don't know you and I don't want to know you. I don't know you and I don't want to know you. I don't know you. He keeps repeating it.
No.
Guano now.
No.
So the Oblivion remaster is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite games. I would
Don't talk to that one bitch. My God, there's a bug where she follows you forever and you can't get rid of her.
Oh, the Knights of the Nine.
Yeah, it's one of the Knights of the Nine ladies, and
Yeah.
that just ended up fucking and ruining my experience. And then, but that wasn't even like the thing. Like I said, the Thieves Guild mission was the one that
Yeah.
really fucking.
I
But,
mean,
I did the story. I did everything that I cared to do. I became the champion of the Coliseum and shit. So I did enough.
Xbox is
still a
really
lot, you
cashing
failed.
in on releasing all their acquired studio games for PlayStation. That's for
Yeah.
shit sure.
it's good for gaming.
I think the top out of the top 10 PlayStation, store sales, like selling games, I think 4 or 6 of them are Xbox studio games, which really just means Bethesda, but
I'm still
Yeah,
waiting
at this
for them
point.
to play nice with Nintendo Rare so we can get a Donkey Kong 64.
at this point, Microsoft's probably not going to. Allegedly, they delayed or canceled their handheld initiative. They were going to do like a Portal or like a new, Xbox PSP type thing, but apparently that's shelved, and they're prioritizing like Windows 11 handheld, some kind of like Steam competitor. They want to do like the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
They're probably looking at doing something more like that, where they can license out the software, so like Windows, to OEMs like who the hell makes Republic of Gaming, all those third parties, that make the crappy hardware. And it's like, is Xbox gonna have another Xbox, or is this it for Xbox? Like, is there a need? Do you think the suits at Microsoft are sitting there going, yeah, we really need another console? Their games are selling like hotcakes. They're coming out with Gears of War's on the immediate horizon. We have Halo coming somewhere after that. It's like, well, now what?
I think it's bad for business if they don't have that, competitive
I always think
thing though.
less competition is bad for consumers. It's
Yeah.
just the nature of capitalism. Like, when there's something better, the one who's lagging behind usually puts in extra effort, and also will usually do it at a cheaper price. So
Maybe
can
they
get
need to
market
go
share.
away for a little while and kind of recede for
What'd you say
people to.
before?
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Right,
Maybe
right.
if Xbox starts receding a little bit, people are going to yearn for it a little bit more. I mean, it's tough because the biggest thing I feel like the PS4, Xbox One generation was such a transformative time and really pivotal moment. We didn't even realize it because you did have to choose. I remember some friends said they wanted Xbox One and some wanted PlayStation 5, and we were all arguing, like, no, we have to all get PlayStation so we can play together. We all have to get Xbox.
It was an
Nobody
easy
said
sell
that.
because the Xbox One was underpowered. They had initially came out with a less
Well,
powerful,
and it was like a TV watching device. It was like a gimmick. It was stupid.
multimedia.
And it was a multimedia. Like you had to route your cable box through it. Like it was too much, and it was like all over the place. But that really changed the course of things because everybody really got ingrained in the Sony ecosystem and the party system, and you start buying all these digital libraries because that was blowing up at that generation, and now you feel locked in.
PlayStation.
Yeah. If I said this last night, I think I was talking about this. If the digital library thing happened during 360, like if we were buying Halo 2 and 3,
Right.
I'm sorry, Halo 3 and Reach,
It was just
digitally,
starting.
you
but-
would have kept probably hanging on because you would have been stuck in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And PS3 was powerful but very difficult to develop for, so only
And expensive.
and super overpriced. So it was like that would have been the death knell for Sony and PlayStation because they were very close, and they even said or whoever was running things at the time said Sony Bravia saved PlayStation because Sony Bravia TVs were so popular in that era.
Oh yeah, we had.
They were making
Bravias.
enough revenue to compensate for the fact that PlayStation 3 was such a bust. So yeah, it's interesting now that the tables have turned, darkness. And yeah, I think the only thing that would get me to abandon PlayStation at this point is if a new console was not reverse compatible with PS4, PS5 era games. Let's say
Like your
PlayStation.
digital library went like
Right,
defunct.
6 or
if they
7.
pulled the same shit Nintendo's pulling with the Switch 2.
What, you got to renew all
You
your
don't actually
licenses.
own the games.
What do you mean?
So with the Switch 2, there's no physical games.
That's not true. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
They don't have any physical games. It's a code.
Cyberpunk can't fit on a fucking cartridge this big. Sorry. I don't know who has it in their head that you're going to play Cyberpunk.
But they put it in some kind of terms and conditions that you don't own the game. And if you try to do anything to their system,
You're
they'll
licensing
brick your system.
You're licensing
remotely.
the game. You're always and forever. You're licensing it, right? Short of offline disc-only games, which I don't know. Show me a new
When's the
game.
last time you bought a disc
Yeah,
anyway?
well, show me any
Only the
game that
Nintendo system.
exactly. I started buying physical Switch games for that exact reason. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of doing this.
And the download
I
speeds
want-
on
Switch is
Wii
slow
U,
as
Switch are
fuck.
awful. So
But yeah, I think that would be the deal breaker. We're using quantum physics and the old games just don't work with quantum physics. I'm fucking done. I'm like, I'll kill somebody because I was like just quickly doing the math, scrolling through all the purchases on that library, and I'm like, this is $5,000 worth of games or some shit between me and Joe.
well, and you're also somebody that trades in your system all the time, whereas I'll keep mine.
I'll
And
always upgrade that shit. I'll always use
yeah,
that value.
you'll turn it in for the next
Well, I
upgrade.
didn't for this one.
I
funny
keep all
enough.
my
I'm
systems.
I'm the stupid fuck that has everything.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
so
all Dusty
I
over
wouldn't
here,
really
see?
feel too
Look.
bad if I had to switch back
You
to
should see this
Xbox.
I'm looking at Pokemon White for DS right
Yeah, well, that's
here.
the thing is you could always plug in your old
Sun,
system and play the old game. So it's
Kingdom
not the
Hearts.
worst thing leaving behind that library if you have the system to play it still. Because there is really a certain point too where like are you really going back and playing most of those games? Not most of them.
Not a lot, you know.
You know?
Very few retro games.
Like even
out-
Red Dead, I love it, but if it's re-released, higher def, you're gonna have to buy it again anyway. So
Yeah.
like if I had to do that on Xbox, I wouldn't feel heartbroken.
Did you know that Rockstar's intentionally releasing
Rockstar wants to
Grand
make
Theft Auto
money.
6? Yeah.
Rockstar just wants to make money.
What?
Well, yeah, we all do. Don't you
They
go to work
delayed it
every
because
day?
they're making money on GTA Online. Did you know?
Yeah.
It's a
There's
secret
always the
conspiracy.
conspiracy there. Well, hey, you know
Wait,
what?
what?
This is good. We got a bunch of our people came through. Selig's here, Sills here, Hells is here, Griffith, No Bother. I didn't even see No Bother commented before.
Oh yeah, this shirt too. Thanks for the compliment. I think that was what that was for. This shirt here, the Ninja Turtle shirt. That's what I'm playing. I've been playing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Splintered Time.
I downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
That's a lot of
It's
fun.
a new game. Or are you talking about the remake?
New game.
It kind of looks like Marvel Legends.
Mm.
Well, not Marvel Legends. What was it?
Ultimate
Ultimate
Alliance.
Alliance, where it was like top down.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it's a really easy jump in, jump out game. The progress, you're not progressing through, let's say, like a long story and like hitting checkpoints. You're actually doing like a dungeon, and when you die, you go back to the beginning. And then you can collect things during that run, do upgrades to your character to get more powerful, go back in, do the run, and try to like get to Shredder, basically. Right now, Shredder's like the ultimate boss, but it seems like something they're going to continue to
Probably going to bring out Krang.
add more layers. Yeah, exactly, because it's pretty short if you could get through this. But the upgrade ability is pretty large. Your guy could be very powerful, and it has that like Diablo-esque, like chain your attacks, like a World of Warcraft. You know, I open with this one, then I follow up with this, and then I got this.
The Diablo killer Ninja Turtle game.
Yeah. It's cool. I think it was $20. It was something.
It was like
Turtle
$23.
MMO.
Yeah, it was cheap, looks good, plays great, nice and responsive. It's a perfect little, like, if you don't have a ton of time to game or, like, you know, something like Death Stranding that I'm playing, it takes a commitment. You know, I need to at least say, like, all right, I got a good 2 hours to really dive into this and get something done. Ninja Turtles is more like, you hop in.
So you
Yeah, Cowabunga, dude. They're two of the enemies. That shit's so funny.
Of course, you gotta have Bebop Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Hey, we
So,
got
yeah,
we
Ninja
got Sully in the comment here. Sully Rivek said, "Thanks so much for the Game of Thrones audiobook, guys. Freaking awesome. Over 30 hours.
Yeah.
You're 30 hours in, you're saying? I mean, because it's a long book. It's like a 35, 40-hour book, I think. Well, look at that, Sully. We might have to give you book 2 soon.
Oh, you'll be hooked now that you're on the books, dude.
I mean, how great are those audiobooks? They're just so fucking good. I listen
the
to them
last one.
every day. You're on the last
you're on
one,
Dragon?
finally.
I'm on the Dance of Dragons now. Yep.
Man, it's such a bitch to not have that fucking Winds of Winter book still. It's like that's the thing. That's the what do you
Hoping
call
some
it?
miracle
That's
happens that,
the
like, when I
thing.
finish the book, he, like, releases it.
Yeah, people say like GTA 6 isn't actually ever going to come out or the world's going to have before. Or whatever
We've been
the fuck.
waiting longer for book 6 of
We've
Game
been
of
waiting for-
Thrones.
It's funny.
or
We've
Song of
been
Ice and
waiting
Fire.
longer for book 6 of Game of Thrones, and we've been waiting longer for Elder Scrolls 6. Because
Yeah.
the announcement was way before Grand Theft Auto 6 ever even leaked or was announced. They announced Elder Scrolls
And
6.
the last one came out 11/11/11, so 2011.
Earlier
when did
than
GTA
GTA.
5 come out?
Right. And everyone tries to stamp GTA as like, Rockstar's ridiculous.
I
I'm
think
like,
Bethesda
are you
has
fucking
more in
kidding?
their rotation though, because they have Fallout. They've
Well,
had
they
the
did,
Indiana Jones helped kind of hold people off.
That's not that, you know.
They have the Dishonored games. They have the Death Loop or whatever it
You
was.
got the space one.
Time Loop.
Bethesda was a
They have
much
Starfield.
larger developer.
They've been putting out other, Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar. They had Red Dead. There wasn't a new Max Payne game. There wasn't a new Bully game. There wasn't a
Red Dead
Manhunt.
2.
There
Well,
wasn't a
they're probably counting
Warriors.
the Elder Scrolls Online as their, like, current installment of.
It's a different studio. I mean, that's ZeniMax, but I mean, Elder Scrolls Online has, scratched the itch here or there, but it's not the same. I mean, I
not
played the shit
6.
out of ESO, but it's not Skyrim. Like, if playing Oblivion, playing Skyrim, and then playing Elder Scrolls Online, totally different experience. I don't play them for the same reasons. I play ESO to, like, level up, get wealth. Like, there's like a economy to it all, and there's different things that they introduce, whether it be card games or whatever. They really made it a solid game that they continue to add amazing new things to. But it's not the same experience as, like, when I'm playing in Oblivion right now, I'm listening to the people talk to me in the quests. Like, I'm listening to the dialogue. ESO, you just go, XX, I don't care. I've heard all this before. Like, you don't listen to any of the dialogue in ESO. You don't
Unless
even
there's
care
giving you
about the
another heist.
story of the missions. You're just running from point to point to finish the mission so that you can get the reward for it. Whereas in Oblivion, the reward is the journey through the dungeon and, finding out what happens next in the story. The quest lines are all amazing.
Into the thick of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oblivion has better, like, stories than Skyrim does in a lot of regards. So,
Yeah, but they don't have Serrano, my wife.
yeah, I mean, they don't really have any of that. But
I
Serrano.
can't tell you how many times I've started Skyrim and just have not finished it or not continued. I haven't
a
even gotten
lot
like
of
halfway.
shame.
I swear to God.
That's the problem, and that's what my issue was. Well, that's
Great
why
about it.
I
well,
had to do the Thor run, because that was the only way I was going to get through the story in a time limit that
Yeah,
I was
50
willing to
hours.
live with.
Rob had so many mods that he was too powerful, that he
It was
was
great.
killing the boss too quickly before it could do like an animation.
Oh, it
So he
triggered the
wasn't
next
able
thing.
to. I had to tell him, turn the shit, like use your weakest attack possible, because he was killing the boss so quick it would just bug it, and he couldn't. I was watching him when he was doing it. He couldn't defeat Marak, and I was like, just slow it down and like punch him, and then it worked
That's so funny.
miraculously. So yeah, he powered through it with the mods and whatnot.
That
But
was a lot of fun, though.
hey, as long as you
Doing
had
a Thor
fun and
run?
you got the
Yeah, that's what-
experience.
Well, that was the
That's what
thing.
games-
I did Fallout 4
You played the
first.
Game Shark version of
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
Action
those
replay.
years.
yeah, he was super powered.
I was Thor. I was flying through the air with a fucking like electric hammer. I was invulnerable.
They used to have really good Star Wars mods for Skyrim, and then
I
I think
remember
like
they got rid of them.
licensing wise, they took all of them down. But you had like full blown lightsabers. You had
The
some
Force
really
and all
cool
kinds of
shit.
Yeah.
And they like, I guess, in order, because they're good with mods, they make it easy to turn the mods on console. But yeah, they took away all the Star Wars shit, which was a real shame.
Mer-
Sue somebody.
Well, next week I'm going to be doing Brooklyn Comic Con.
Sick.
So I'll be back at it's on Meserole Street in
Mezafanook.
Mezafanook in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, neighborhood next to. Vince,
Fan?
Vince just noticing my new fan.
What the fuck? I'm like,
Talking
look
about,
at it.
he's
going
talking
by.
about this fan.
It's my only
the whole
fan.
time before.
It's so this is a little portable fan.
No
And
shit.
They're not sponsoring us.
It's got a little remote control here.
That's so funny.
It's like the
And
sharper
I like
image.
that it even has like a little nightlight. So this thing folds down like all the way, like fucking,
Oh, yeah, telescopic arm and shit. That's cool.
you know. And then it folds into that. It goes into a little carrying case.
It fucking reminds me of the
So like when I want to like go to like a hotel or something like when I'm on a trip, like this would be good for like the white noise.
I do need a fan to sleep.
for the
It
fan.
legit looks like the pod racing robots.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Little
Hit the
repair-
nose.
Hit the nose.
Think we'll be good for next week.
Yeah.
See if we could do this again next week,
Next
guys.
week.
We're dialing it back. If there's nothing to talk about, we're not gonna try to just drag everyone through a show where we're putzing around, except for today, and it actually worked out pretty well.
Nice.
But to
It's
do it
nice.
weekly when there's not really anything going on, it's just hard to.
Monotonous.
It gets monotonous. We're not gonna just talk for the sake of talking. We're not worried about chasing YouTube monetization at
Amy.
this point. So we appreciate you guys who tune in every time we do this.
Yeah. If you're new to the show, welcome. And please hit that subscribe and follow button
Give us a
because it
little
really
like.
helps us out.
Yeah.
The like button actually helps.
And one day the GTA Valet will be back. I've taken a bit of sabbatical. I haven't really made many GTA Valet clips in the last 60 days, but I'm just trying to get my shit together, guys.
You've been doing your Minecraft thing.
Minecraft
Been
supplanted it a bit.
Buckle up.
Had a good run with
Psychedelic Minecraft.
but it's not even that. Just when you try to make
mix it up,
time
I
for
s-
the gym and
See, this is why Bungie doesn't make Halo anymore. They get bored. They want to move on. They
Yeah.
want to do something different.
hey, I still enjoy torturing people on GTA. It's just getting the time to
Griffin,
hop
son of a
on.
bitch you are.
Yeah.
What? Oh, fuck. I'll save it. I'll save it.
All right, write it down in the note. We'll get it for the next episode. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate everybody. Selig, hey, we're going to catch up with you as you get further in with this book when you're done. We want to know what you think about the difference between book 1 and season 1 of Game of Thrones, because they're very similar actually in the beginning, but then it really starts branching off the further you get in. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that next
I've been
time.
watching. We'll do some Game of Thrones next week.
Yeah, we could definitely. We could always revisit
Comfort food.
Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones world, but we are closing the show. We got our hour in. We appreciate you guys, and Rob, give him the old closer.
Thank you so much for watching the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the Force be with you.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, show!
Oh, it's time to slow down.
Fucking table and the computer just shook. That is, no one was mad that you cut the whole You can go anywhere.
What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah, you're right.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of a game engine into the face. Can't say
That
Dallas.
what did you know? When that's like part of my Christmas.
Three, two, 1.
Oh, show!
Oh, it's time to slow down.
Fucking table and the computer just shook. That is, no one was mad that you cut the whole You can go anywhere.